Welcome to Math Plus, where math makes sense. This is a practice video where you will learn how to compare fractions with like denominators and unlike denominators. There is a lesson video. The link is at the top right-hand corner. It's called Compare Fractions with Like and Unlike Denominators. In this lesson video, you will learn how to compare the fractions and then come back after you watch it, and then we'll practice. The first one, I'm going to use a model just to make sure those of you that may have forgotten or are struggling a little bit, we'll start with an easier two fractions to compare. Anytime you are comparing something, they have to be the same. Like look at the denominators on both of these. Both of those have a 4 at the bottom. I want you to compare the two fractions. You can draw the pictures, color them in, just to make it a little bit more fun, and then come back. You just have to put an equal sign, a greater than or less than sign in the box. I went ahead and colored them in, and you can see that the one on the left takes up less space, so it's a smaller fraction than the one on the right. And therefore, we put in the box 1/4 is less than 2/4. And you can see that. You can also see they both have the same denominator, so we're comparing like denominators and fractions. By the way, anytime you compare fractions, the denominators have to be the same to be able to compare them well. Let's try the next one. This time, I want you to compare the two fractions, and they do have like denominators, so go ahead and figure that out. Pause your video and then come back. Now these are pretty easy. Your denominators are the same, so now you just look at the top number, the numerator. 5 is greater than the 3. 5/6, therefore, is greater than 3/6. You can draw pictures to prove that, and it comes out. Now, the reason we draw the models and the pictures is to help you see it, but you can see for yourself, that took a lot of time to do that, didn't it? I want you to learn how to compare these fractions without the pictures. Well, in this one, we are going to go ahead and use the multiple strips to help us find a comparable multiple. We need to make sure both of them have the same denominator, and the way we do that is find a common multiple, and we've learned this in a previous video. Let's go ahead and find the least common multiple. I'm going to look at my 3's first, and I'm just going to go along, and I'm kind of looking down as well. 9. I see a 15 here. It's kind of tricky. You have to look at both strips at the same time, and you could do a double check, make sure everything before that doesn't match. 15 is your least common multiple. And I'm going to put the 15s down here, because what I'm going to do with that 2/5 is turn it into a new fraction with 15 as the denominator, because then I can compare them. 2/5. Well, to get 5 to 15, I had to multiply by 3, and whatever I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. So I'm also going to multiply my 2 times 3, and that is 6. Now over here, I had to multiply my 3 by 5 to get to 15. So I'll do the same to the top, and I have a 5. Now I can compare the two. And 6/15 is bigger or larger than 5/15. So 2/5 is larger than or more than 1/3. What happens when I don't have those multiple strips? Now we want to get you away from those as well. If you need to use them, keep using them. One day you'll find that you don't need to. But what happens if I don't have them? And a lot of you will just say, I don't know what to do. Don't do that. You have another option. You can get the multiples of 4 and write the multiples of 5. Okay, you can write them down like this. 12, and then we have 16, and then we have 20. I'm going to stop at 20 because I know that 5 is probably a multiple, has 20 in it because it ends with a 0. Remember, multiples of 5 end with a 5 or end with a 0. So I'm going to stop right there. Now I have a 10, but there's not one over there, so I'm going to keep going. And voila, look at that. I have a 20. See, it just takes a little bit more work, but you can do it. Now I have to make equivalent fractions so that I can compare each of these with a common denominator. Now when I say equivalent, I'm making this one down here equivalent to 2/4, and the one up here, 4/5, will be equivalent to the one I create here. You're doing lots of math here. All right, so 4, now I'm going to make an equivalent fraction of 2/4 into something over 20. If I turn that 4 into a 20, that means I have to multiply it by 5, right? I'm going to do the same thing to the numerator. 2 times 5 is 10. So 2/4 and 10/20 are equivalent fractions. Let's find out what 4/5 is equivalent to something over 20. 5 times 4 is 20. That gets our denominator up to 20. I have to multiply 4 by 4 and put that number at the top. This fraction, 6/20, is equivalent to 4/5. Now I can compare, kind of like apples to apples, right? My denominators are the same, and all I have to do is look at the higher number, and this fraction is greater than 10/20, or 10/20 is less than 16/20. 2/4 is therefore less than 4/5. One more, we're going to compare two fractions. This one's a little harder. What we're going to have to do is write out our multiples of 36. So let's start with that because it's the bigger number. And I know that I have the other ones of 5, so I absolutely know that 5 will not be a multiple, have a multiple, unless one of 36's ends with a 0 or 5. 72, 108, 144. See, none of these have a 0 or 5, so I have to keep going. And the next one is 180. I'm going to stop there. I know that 5 divides into 180, so I can divide 180 by 5. Divided by 5 is 36. So actually, the common multiple is 180. Those two numbers have to be multiplied by each other. So if 5 times 36 is 180, 1 times 36. So we put that at the top. And then we have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 5. 36 times 5 is 180. 4 times 5 is 20. Is larger, greater than, so 1/5 is greater than 4 over 36. Sometimes you got to do a little bit of work to get your answer. If you go back to the video, the description underneath, there are some practice pages there that you can do if you want to practice this a little bit. Make sure you've got it down.